Halo, halo, witam serdecznie. Wyobraźcie sobie już w 50. odcinku z serii Hogwarts Legacy. No i w dzisiejszym materiale w związku z tym zrobimy jakąś misję główną. Misję Rozmowa z dyrektorką, czyli w sumie jedno z głównych zadań. Niedługo zobaczymy trzecią próbę. Więc proszę bardzo i porozmawiaj z portretem profesor.
Hello, Professor. I have news. The goblins are looking for something. Another repository. They've built drills to help with their search.
Most troubling.
Are these repositories like the broken container I found at Rookwood Castle?
They are. I fear we have no time to lose. Have a look at the map. Fortunately, the next trial is fairly nearby.
It's Hogwarts.
As you know, I was headmistress in my time. My portrait hangs in the headmaster's office. In fact, I witnessed Professor Black learn of your arrival. And I'll confess that I wondered about you.
Wait, is the next trial in the headmaster's office?
It is. I had hoped that when the time came, the occupant of that office would be of help to us. Unfortunately, this headmaster seems wildly unconcerned with anything but himself. You'll need to access the office while he's away.
I understand. Very well. We'll find some way to get in.
Good. I shall meet you in my portrait there. Until then.
How will I gain access to the headmaster's office? Perhaps Professor Fig will know what to do.
Dobra, pytanie, gdzie jeszcze jest profesor Fig? Chyba, czyli mamy misję... czyli nie mamy więcej do wykonania? Zaraz. To co ja mam niby zrobić? Mamy jakieś misje totalnie poboczne. A więc chyba najlepiej będzie poczekać? Jest taka opcja, patrzcie na to, jeżeli teraz zrobimy czekaj. Zazwyczaj kolejnego dnia dostajemy informację.
Since you saved Mr. Rabe and I from the Ashwinders, we have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
Dobra, z tym Harlowem też wykonamy misję, ale no chciałem się skupić na czymś, powiedzmy, głównym. Czyli skrzydło astronomiczne i porozmawiamy z profesorem Figiem. No, postarajmy się zrobić jakieś postępy fabularne w dzisiejszym materiale. Dobra, jak się jeszcze do niego dostać? Jeszcze jakieś kolejne misje poboczne otrzymuję w Hogwarcie, ale no też wykonam je jakoś w kolejnych odcinkach. A profesor Fig czego uczy? W zasadzie nigdy nie miałem z nim żadnej lekcji. Ciekawa sprawa.
Professor Fig, the keepers have shown me where the next trial is.
Has something changed?
Lodgok and I have learned that the goblins are searching for another repository, like the one we saw at Rookwood Castle. And I discovered that they're building massive drills to help in their search. Professor Fitzgerald seemed very concerned.
I see. Ranrock clearly knows even more than we suspected.
And sir, there's something else. Lodgok knew Miriam.
He knew Miriam?
They encountered each other at Rookwood Castle. She was doing research. That's where she found the container with the port key. He liked her so much that he let her leave with it, despite orders from Ranrock.
I don't know what to say. She could win over almost anyone. I want to hear more of this. And, in fact, I'd like to speak with Lodgok directly. But we've no time now. Where is the next trial?
Believe it or not, it's in the headmaster's office.
Incredible. Very well, you'll need the password to get past the stone gargoyle. The headmaster's house elf will know it.
I don't know the headmaster's house elf. Will he even speak to me? I imagine he's loyal to the headmaster.
He is. So you'll need a disguise. I have just the thing. A polyjuice potion. You'll look and sound like Professor Black.
Wait, doesn't Polyjuice Potion require a bit of the person you want to change into? And take ages to brew?
It does?
So how do you already have Polyjuice Potion to change into Professor Black?
One never knows when such a thing may come in handy. Let's just say I felt the need to be prepared for anything after my fruitless trip to the ministry on his behalf. Now, time is of the essence. Drink up and I shall explain more.
No to wcielmy się w dyrektora, tak?
How do you feel?
Incredible. I won't forget that taste anytime soon. How do I sound?
Convincing. I've taken the liberty of transfiguring your robes. As we discussed, you'll need the password from Scrope, who could be anywhere in the castle. You might look for Professor Kagawa. She's taken to badgering the poor elf about Quidditch in the hopes that he can convince Black to change his mind. Thus far, unsuccessfully.
I see. But what if Professor Black sees me?
Leave him to me. I shall tell him where to meet a liaison from the ministry in Hogsmeade. That should give you plenty of time.
Thank you, Professor. I suppose we'll meet again in the map chamber.
It's rather strange to hear gratitude coming from Professor Black. I'll see you there.
Now to find the headmaster's house elf.
Dobra, to zagrajmy jako dyrektor, okej. A to interesująca misja. Teraz się zastanawiam, jak będą inni uczniowie na mnie reagowali. Może jakoś zupełnie inaczej. To było interesujące, patrzcie na to.
Professor, a moment of your time, please. Professor, I was hoping to catch you.
Places to be, Professor Sharp, places to be.
Of course, sir. Only, you'd asked me about a particular potion, and I
did? I did, yes. Well, spit it out, Sharp. I don't have all day.
Probably best not to discuss it here, sir.
Ja o tym decyduję, ach tak?
Really? Why can't we talk about potions here? Seems fine to me.
Very well. I've brewed the cure for boils you wanted. I can drop it by your office when it's convenient.
Of course, yes. No need for all the cloak and dagger. Simply have a student deliver it.
A student. Very well, sir, if you insist.
I do. And thank you, Sharp. I just hope you've brewed enough for all my boils.
Now, to determine which student gets this rather unenviable task.
Dobra, to wcale nie jest podejrzane.
Mouth open? Where are your manners? Has anyone seen my ivory-handled hand mirror? Of course you haven't.
I thought I heard the headmaster approaching.
Właśnie uważaj, bo zaraz dostaniesz zaklęciem niewybaczalnym. Nie, jakoś nie zmieniają zachowania, szczerze mówiąc. Tylko profesor mnie raz zauważył. A to jest z kolei ten jeszcze, fig. Cały czas idzie w tym samym kierunku w sumie.
Time for any of you at the moment. None. None at all. Move aside.
Professor Black,
O,
how are you, sir?
Mr. Gaunt, where do you think you're going?
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm simply on my way outside.
Taking the day off, eh? Typical student, wasting the hours away.
I have to write 20 inches on Dittany and its uses. Was heading to the greenhouse.
Ah, yes. Mixed with bubo tuber pus makes a fine mustache paste. Yes, mustache paste. I find.
Are you feeling all right, sir? You don't seem yourself.
I assure you I am quite healthy, Gaunt. If I need a medical diagnosis, I shall head to St. Mungo's.
Something is very wrong with me.
dobra, to akurat było interesujące, że koleś w zasadzie nie widzi i od razu mnie zaobserwował, że to ja jestem z daleka.
I'd like to speak with you, Professor. Professor Black, again, it is not too late to reconsider your decision regarding Quidditch. We could still have trials and a somewhat shortened season. It would be better than none at all.
But the injury, Madam Kogawa.
Professor, more than one student has taken a bludger to the head on our pitch. I dare say it knocked some sense into them. And they are fine now. The fact that it happened to be a pureblood, well, that's no reason to...
What? nonsense. That you would trivialize the health of a student over a silly game.
A silly game? You are quite impossible sometimes. Sir, I've a good mind to write to the Department of Magical Games and Sports at the Ministry about you.
Proszę bardzo, to byłoby nierozsądne.
I should think you'd have better things to do with your time. Now, where's my elf?
Good day, Professor. And I spotted Scrope in the Great Hall. Seems to be avoiding me.
I wonder why. Good day, Madam Kagawa.
What did we do to deserve him as a headmaster?
Greetings! I mean, out of my way, children!
Okej, to jest jedna z najbardziej interesujących misji. Z pewnością bym się dobrze wcielił w dyrektora, już zaprowadziłbym porządki. Come on.
I hope it's not about anything I've been doing.
Miss Broom, a word.
Oh, Professor, this is an interesting surprise. It's Bloom, by the way.
Remind me of your area of affinity, Broom. OWLs are swift approaching.
Charms, sir. Non-verbal spells. Might work on one that makes me disappear.
Well, keep at it, Broom. And before you know it, you'll be as invisible as that new fifth year seems to be.
They're not invisible, sir. I've seen them near the library. In fact, they help me with my, heavy books.
Speaking of invisible, where's my blasted house elf?
Nie ma żadnego podejmowania decyzji.
Off with the headmaster.
Wszyscy już plotkują, że coś jest ze mną nie tak naprawdę. Może zbyt szybko biegam, powinienem elegancko właśnie chodzić. O, proszę bardzo. Dyrektor nigdy tak nie biega w sumie.
Professor, a word, please. Hello, Professor Black.
Ah, Professor Weasley. How delightful to see you.
Sir?
Since I have you here, I wonder if I might, speak with you about Professor Fig.
Oh, very well.
I've decided to give him a bit more, leeway with his time.
Leeway, Professor? Are you sure that's wise? I confess I do worry for his students. He's rarely here as it is.
Wcale mi go nie brak, załatwia tajne sprawy dla ministerstwa.
Well, yes. He's handling some official ministry business for me.
I see. But sir, if I may, I am wary of how much time the new fifth year seems to be spending away from the castle, supposedly on Professor Fig's behalf. I've heard unsettling rumors of their escapades. Everything from sneaking into the Forbidden Forest to confronting Ranrock's loyalists and Rookwood's lot.
What? Goodness. You cannot believe everything you hear, Professor. No, you cannot. I mean, I shall keep an eye on Fig. You simply keep doing the wonderful job that you're doing. Simply wonderful.
Thank you. But I'm happy to look into...
Good. That'll be all, Weasley. I mean, Professor Weasley. Good day.
A wonderful job. Leeway for Professor Fig.
That ought to give Professor Fig some breathing room.
Wait until Master sees what a wonderful...
Attention, students! I hereby decree that the Great Hall be forthwith decorated in the elegant banners of Ravenclaw. I shall be taking no questions at this time. Or ever.
Tak jest, wszyscy świętują.
Scrope!
Oh, greetings, Master.
Remind me of the password to my office.
Oh, but Master made Scrope swear never to tell anyone, even Master himself.
Śmiesz mi się sprzeciwiać? Zmieniłem zdanie. Nie no, pierwsze, come on.
How dare you question me? I've a mind to give you a matching set of ears.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Scrope begs forgiveness. It is the Black family motto, Master.
Right. Of course.
Master does remember it.
Ma to związek z siłą, ma to związek z panowaniem rodziny. Coś z czystością krwi. Co on by wybrał? Może ostatnie?
It's pure bloods forever, isn't it?
Close, Master. Scrope thinks Master is indeed testing Scrope. It is always pure.
Obviously.
And, of course, as Master knows, in French.
Ah, yes, of course. I order you to pronounce it for me.
Oh, but Master knows that Scrope's French is most pitiful. Oh, very well. Toujours pur.
Ha! Thank you. Never speak of this conversation with me or anyone else.
Of course, sir. Scrope shall try his best to keep out of Master's way.
The polyjuice potion's wearing off. I best get out of sight.
Zaraz, tędy na górę mamy się dostać. Chwilę, to było zablokowane, jeżeli mnie pamięć nie myli.
Made it just in time. It's wearing off.
A muszę się chyba przebrać, nie wiem.
Fig was right. I can't believe it worked. Now, to speak the password to the gargoyle.
A, czyli misja załatwiona. A i próba będzie dopiero później, się okazuje, nie wiem. Na razie tego nie mamy. W takim razie zobaczmy sobie w misję. Zaraz. Co ja w ogóle kombinuję? Muszę się spotkać z Natty. A to są jakieś dodatkowe rozmowy, dobra. Może próbę zostawię jeszcze na jutro, teraz akurat wykonam jakieś dodatkowe rozmowy, jakieś misje jeszcze poboczne. No bo ta misja główna to by naprawdę bardzo długo trwała. Ta trzecia próba. Dobra, to sobie porozmawiamy z bohaterką. To jest to? No to jest gabinet dyrektora. Kurde, gdzie jest mapa? Mapa świata. A nie, tutaj mamy rozmowę. Porozmawiaj z Natty, ona jest jakoś super blisko. Zobaczymy. A, czy akurat znajduje się w odpowiednim miejscu niedaleko, proszę bardzo.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
Powinna być z ciebie dumna.
If she knew more about what you've done, I suspect she'd be proud.
If she knew any more about what I've done, she would never let me out of her sight again.
I'm sorry. Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
Czyli chcesz pomścić jego śmierć?
Do you think taking down the Ashwinders will avenge your father's death?
No. Vengeance is not what drives me. My father would not want that. He and my mother raised me to believe that it is a privilege to be able to fight for those who cannot. I know there is risk involved, but I feel it is worth it. I am glad you seem to think so too.
Jak radzi sobie twoja matka?
What does your mother think about all of this?
Well, as you saw, she worries a great deal. She is an excellent seer, but I think it bothers her to this day that she did not see my father's death coming. She misses him, as do I. So I believe on some level she understands my need to seek justice in a small way. But that does not mean that she likes it.
Co twój ojciec pomyślałby o naszych działaniach?
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
Oh my, that is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
Tak mi przykro.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was. Truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed. Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
Dobra, ale to jeszcze nie będzie koniec kwestii fabularnej z Natty. Jeszcze musimy Harlowa jakkolwiek powstrzymać i dopiero wtedy. Dobra, wykonajmy może jeszcze jakąś misję poboczną, na przykład w Hogsmeade. Pamiętam, była jedna zagadka. Sklep sportowy, rzeczywiście. No jeszcze na tym się skupię i zobaczymy. Natomiast jeżeli chodzi o misję główną z tym dyrektorem w gabinecie dyrektora, to akurat zrobię zapewne jutro. Ej, co jest, kurde? Czyli wkraczamy i zobaczmy.
Wonderful to see you. As before, I've arranged a special price on the broom upgrade for you.
Ej, chwilę, moment.
Hope to see you again.
Mamy misję poboczną, ale o co chodzi?
What are we looking for today?
Może chodzi o ulepszanie miotły, kup?
You'll be thrilled with that broom, I promise you. You're all set with the new upgrade. I can't wait to hear what you think. This may sound presumptuous, but...
You'd like me to report back with even more flight details?
You know me well. I feel I'm almost there. I just think I can improve broom flight a bit more. Miss Ray's is running a time trial at the South Coast course. Not ideal, really, what with rumours of Ranrock's lot and Ashwinders infiltrating the place. However, if you're flying high above them, you should be all right, I think.
Nie boję się.
I'm not worried, Mr. Weeks. I'll see if I can find Imelda.
I hope you are able to complete these trials. I have a feeling this final upgrade is going to be a sweeping success. Do be careful, of course. I shall look forward to hearing from you soon. I look forward to our next meeting.
Sięgając nieba, czyli wygląda na to, że to będzie ostatnia misja, jeżeli chodzi o tego bohatera. Rozmawiaj z Imeldą Reyes. To jest 5000 metrów, kurde. Zobaczmy mapę świata. Wydaje mi się, że jeszcze aż tak daleko mnie nie było. O kurde, zaraz. Gdzie my w ogóle mamy lecieć? Sięgając nieba. Dobra, bo w sumie chciałem wykonać jeszcze tą dalszą misję, jakkolwiek przelecieć, ale z tego co zdążyłem zauważyć na mapie świata jeszcze, jak tam później przelatywałem, to nie ma możliwości przelotu, to są jakieś ogromne góry i trzeba wykonać dosyć ciężką misję. Jest taki ogromny obóz wrogów, tych goblinów, więc wszystkie te 3 save'y będą zapewne w podziemiach. Więc dopiero później wykonamy tą misję poboczną, która tędy się znajduje w jakichś kolejnych materiałach. Więc powoli przynajmniej rozpocznę misję w gabinecie dyrektora. Kurde, jaką w ogóle ma ścieżkę do swojego gabinetu. Muszę przyznać, że bogato to wygląda wszystko, to z pewnością. Jeszcze na poziomie 3 zamek jest blokujący. Na poziomie 2, kurde, muszę jeszcze alohomorę sobie ulepszyć. No jeszcze nie miałem wszystkich znajdziek, żeby to zrobić. Dobra, tędy. Coś jeszcze niby otwieramy. Otwórz? Coś tu nie pasuje. Nie ma możliwości. Potrzebuję klucza zapewne. Dopiero za chwilę. Przy okazji jeszcze jakieś skrzynie są widoczne na mapie, ale to piętro wyżej. Ciężka sprawa.
The gargoyle. That's where I need to speak the password. Toujours pure. Revelio.
Mam jeszcze informację, zobaczmy. Chimera z gabinetu dyrektora. Schody prowadzące do gabinetu dyrektora strzeżone są przez zaczarowaną chimerę, która pozwoli ci przejść tylko wtedy, gdy podasz hasło. Choć i tak ciężko pojąć kogokolwiek, kto chciałby odwiedzać obecnego lokatora tego biura. Taki jest mało lubiany, kto wie.
I wonder if all the elite wizarding families have a motto. Revelio.
O, kolejna informacja. Tiara przydziału. Ten zaklęty kapelusz został stworzony przez 4 założycieli Hogwartu jako sposób na przydzielanie uczniów do jednego z 4 domów szkolnych. Uzdolniona w legitymacji tiara przydziału potrafi zajrzeć do umysłu osoby, na której głowie spoczywa, co pozwala określić zdolności i myśli tej osoby. A, dobra, czyli ten kapelusz. Mam nadzieję, że on mnie nie zdradzi. W sumie mnie widział, tak? Kurde, znowu poziom 2, więcej nie zrobimy. Poziom 3. Ciężka sprawa.
It's good to see you.
All thanks to Professor Fig's quick thinking. Now what?
Approach the pedestal in the antechamber and read the book that appears.
Co znajdę w książce?
What can I expect to find in the book?
A story. I cannot say more. You may recognize some elements of it, as I was inspired by a tale with which many wizarding children are familiar.
Dobra.
I suspect there will be more to this than reading a book.
Your suspicions are correct. We shall speak when you are finished.
Has this been under the headmaster's nose all this time?
Może coś o tym wiedział. Przy okazji mamy jakieś informacje. Zobaczmy. Pokwitowanie. Tonik do włosów, wosk do włosów, pomada z korniczka, grzebień, perłowy uchwyt, drapaczka do pleców, złoty uchwyt, bachanocyd? Opłacono z niewielkiej części, rachunek za resztę wysłano do ministerstwa. Dobra, więc chodźmy wyżej.
Must be the pedestal.
Tajemnicza księga.
Where am I? Professor Fitzgerald, can you hear me?
I am here. In this place, you may call me Neve. You shall be witness to a fable. Pay attention. Things are not always as they seem. You must move swiftly and cautiously. Use the tools you encounter to find me. The first you will need is a cloak.
Dobra, to bardzo interesujący styl graficzny, to z pewnością, ale w sumie to zrobię w kolejnym materiale. Jeżeli interesuje was zatem kontynuacja tej przygody trzeciej próby, to polecam zostawić lajka, suba, dzwonka po kolejne codziennie wychodzące odcinki. No i w sumie tyle, ja się z wami żegnam, do jutra.